Like if you were in Europe, right, you could be fined and jailed, right, for in a case for like pushing something that's disinformation or whatever, or you're just goofing, right?
Yeah, you can't goof,
but you can't. If it's an obvious, to your point, if it's an obvious goof, then okay, you can probably get away with it. Maybe not if you're in Germany or somewhere, but
Germany's going crazy.
They are going crazy, and they weren't happy with J.D. Vance's speech. I'll tell you that much.
I wonder why.
Nobody in the EU was happy. The head of the Munich Security Conference literally cried after the speech when they were addressing EU leaders following the speech, right? Talking about, the impact and what it might have meant for U.S.-EU relations and everything. Literally tears being shed over J.D. Vance's speech.
What was it about his speech in particular that was offensive?
Well, I think what they were anticipating at the Munich Security Conference was he was going to come in and he was going to talk about, obviously, the number one topic on the table for them was Ukraine, right? And, where are we going with that? Because obviously the EU leaders are now very concerned about U.S. commitment to NATO. What is the Trump administration, planning on doing in terms of further support for Ukraine, really further support for NATO? They looking to distance themselves. And Vance instead came in and didn't really focus on any of that shit. He turned it onto the European Union and to EU countries and the UK in particular, talking about how their biggest threat isn't necessarily Russia or China. Their biggest threat is what they're doing to themselves in terms of suppressing free speech from all the various groups out there, including conservative groups, the far left, whatever, determining that, this type of speech is illegal. We're going to pursue you. We're going to fine you. We're going to jail you. Armed raids against people that are, pushing content online. So he made
including anti-immigrant content. Right?
Anti-immigrant content, but to be fair, right? I mean, most of Europe at this point is pretty fed up with the immigration policies that their leaders
Which is why they want to suppress the dissent online.
Exactly.
They're not doing it because they genuinely think this is a moral and ethical thing to do. No. They're doing it because they sense an uprising.
Yeah, and they rightly should. Look, Olaf Scholz, the German chancellor, he's not getting reelected, and their election is coming up here shortly.
Yeah,
and so he's not. That's not going to happen for him. So I think, they're not rightly, but they are concerned about their own political power. That's
what it is, and that's what people need to understand.
It's not rocket science.
It's not that the Europeans are the kinder, more progressive. No, they understand that it's coming, and they want to do everything they can to stop it because most people are fed up. Yeah. Most people just want to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And if you tell them that they can't put a flag meme on one of their Facebook pages or they get arrested, which is what happened in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, or talk about, so if you talk about the immigration problem and you say, look, we got to stop this, we got to, maybe secure borders. If you talk about the Ukraine war and say, I don't think we should be supporting, dumping more resource into Ukraine, all those things, or reproductive rights, if you're on the wrong side of that from a European perspective, they're coming after you. And so that's what J.D. Vance came after. He turned the tables on them and focused on that. And that was, A, it was completely unexpected. And B, I think, the reality of it, the fact that it's truthful, I think upset a lot of them.
It's truthful, and it also appeals to their citizens. That's the thing. The citizens say, this is the way we want our government to talk.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because a lot of people on... there's a lot of people on social media right now going, oh my God, you don't realize how hated, you are now as Americans, and the U.S. is so hated. And I think, I spent most of my time overseas, right? And most people are going, it seems like it's common sense. You guys are finally coming around, right? And so I don't think they're going to win the argument that somehow the U.S. is more hated. Look, we've been hated in a variety of locations.
Well, we definitely are hated in Canada right now.
Oh, yeah.
Is the hockey game? They were booing the national anthem so hard. Oh, yeah. They get in 3 fights in the first 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we kick Canada's ass. Sorry, Canada. In Canada, which is not good because that's their fucking sport. That's basically their only shot at beating us at anything.
Yeah. Well, curling.
They might be able to win at that. But if we practice it, we'd be better at that too.
Yeah.